Are you thinking about purchasing your own Can Am Spyder? Well, this video is for you. I put together a short buyer's guide where I talk about the history of the Spyder, the features, the benefits, the models, the operation of the Can Am Spyder, so you can make an informed decision and decide for yourself if the Can Am Spyder is right for you. Before we talk about all the models and features available for this Spyder, let's talk a bit about the creator and how this machine came into being. In the early 1900s, a gentleman by the name of Joseph Bombardier, living up in northern Canada, or Quebec, Canada, I guess all of Canada is in the north for those of us in the lower 48, was an amateur tinkerer, inventor, and one winter day, his son had developed a case of appendicitis. The snow was so severe that he could not get his son to medical help, and unfortunately his small son died. As a result, he invented the first over snow type vehicle, which we now refer to as a snowmobile or a snow machine. And although he originally intended to name it the Ski Dog, because of a typographical error in some of the marketing material, it became known as the Ski-Doo, and the legend continues, eventually evolving into this machine which we call the Can Am Spyder. Joseph Bombardier went on to build an entire business surrounding the idea of transportation, to include snowmobiles, snow machines, watercraft, four-wheel drive all-terrain vehicles, Can Am Spyders, and even experimented with a two-wheel motorcycle some years ago, which one of the versions was actually called the Spyder. They also build business jets and subway trains. A whole variety of transportation needs are taken care of by the Bombardier brand. BRP, the Bombardier Recreational Products, is the parent company of the Spyder. The first product was introduced as the 2008 series Can Am Spyder Model GS. This would be the precursor to all of the models of the Spyder which would follow, followed by the RS and the ST, all having similar body styles but just a few different features. The body styles would not change until 2010 and the introduction of the RT. All Spyders come standard with the 998cc Rotax twin liquid-cooled engine. It's a belt drive system with a 5-speed transmission plus one in reverse. Your options were either the manual transmission or the semi-automatic transmission, denoted by either the SE5 or the SM5 designation. All Spyders have anti-lock brake system with only one brake pedal, stability control, and a traction control system. And they all have cruise control with the exception of the F3 model. In 2014, the Can Am Spyder was introduced with a 6-speed transmission and one reverse, denoted by the SE6 or the SM6. Also with a power upgrade to the 1330 3-cylinder Rotax engine. In 2016, the RS and the ST model were discontinued in favor of just the F3 and the RT model. Later, they would introduce the Riker, which is technically not a Spyder, but it looks awful lot like one. In 2015, the 10,000th Spyder was delivered, which was far ahead of schedule, significantly exceeding marketing expectations. In 2020, the body style changed significantly. Also, the Can Am Spyder is no longer available in the manual transmission, only available in the semi-automatic transmission. Now, a common misconception is the Spyder is often referred to as a trike. It's not a trike. A tricycle is a machine that has one wheel in the front and two wheels in the back. The Spyder has the two wheels to front, which increases stability significantly. This machine was designed from the ground up to be a three-wheeled vehicle and is definitely not a trike. Now, some interesting things about the Can Am Spyder is when they designed this machine, they weren't only trying to tap into the motorcycle market, they were creating an entirely new market for an entirely new class of vehicles. 21% of Spyder owners are women. 27% of Spyder owners are folks who have never owned a motorcycle before. This is their first machine. This data was valid as of 2015. All the gauges are laid out rather intuitively. To the far left, we have the headlight controller, high beam or low beam. The mode controller, which controls the complete central display to include your trip odometers and sound system controls. Turn signal indicator, horn, the thumb paddle shifter for shifting up, and then the paddle shifter from the rear side to downshift. There is no clutch control. It's an automatic clutch. Throttle is standard as you'd find on any motorcycle, along with the engine cutoff switch, cruise control, and start button. In the center you have the switch controls, which control the heated hand grips, which is available on this particular model, and my aftermarket RAM mount for my cell phone. Then the Garmin GPS. The fuel tank is accessible on the left side and holds 7.5 US gallons. The engine oil can be checked from the right side. And your brake fluid reservoir is under the rear passenger seat. And the key release opens the front cargo area, commonly referred to as the frunk. This model has the heated hand grips and stereo control system for the passenger. The heat for the hand grips are controlled from the left side. The total storage capacity for the Spyder is 10 cubic feet, with additional space in the back trunk area and the left and right panniers. And there's a small glove box right in front. The Can Am Spyder operates rather intuitively. It's pretty straightforward. The brake pedal is right where you expect your brake pedal to be, by your right foot. There are no hand brakes. And the throttle is similar to a motorcycle. Just twist and go. With the semi-automatic transmission, there's no clutch to worry about, just a thumb and index finger actuated upshift and downshift. The Spyder does require 91 octane gas for its optimum performance, but you can put regular gas in there in a pinch, but you probably will notice a lag in performance because the computer adjusts the timing to make up for the lower octane. Now you check the engine oil with the engine hot. You wait about a minute for everything to drain down into the oil pan, then you check it. It uses the engine oil in the transmission as opposed to having normal transmission fluid. It has power steering to help you get around those corners when you're not going at higher speeds. The tires are custom made for the Spyder to meet the design specifications for braking and traction control. Now some riders do elect to change their tires up to a car tire or other type of tire to get a longer life from their tires. How long do the tires last on the Spyder? I did a tire change a few months ago, changed all 3 tires. My front tires had 29,000 miles on them. Plenty of tread left, but they were 6 years old, so I went ahead and changed them to reduce the possibility of dry rot. The rear tire had 9,000 miles on it, and it was a little overdue for a change out. It's the second rear tire I've put on the Spyder. As I said earlier, the steering is similar to that of an ATV, as opposed to a two-wheel motorcycle where you lean into the curb. You don't do that with the Spyder. You do tend to lean your own body into the curb, but the Spyder itself does not lean. You have 2 performance settings on the engine. One is a normal mode, and the other one is the eco mode. If you want a bit of a sportier response, you select the normal mode. But if you're like myself and you just want to get some distance out of your machine and get some better gas mileage, I select the Eco mode. Now this is all done through the multifunction display with the mode controller on the left-hand grip. The windshield can be raised and lowered as needed. We tend to only put it up for rain and cold winds. If you opt for the SE model, which is the semi-automatic transmission, you can have the footboards as opposed to the regular foot pegs. This makes changing your foot position a little easier and helps if you elect to stand as you're riding to stretch out your back and your legs. It's beneficial for longer rides, and the footboards make it much easier to do that. Although it does tend to freak out some of the other drivers. Maintenance, the 1330 engine, which is in the 2014 Spyders and newer, require a service interval of 9,000 miles or 12 months, whichever comes first. Now, the Spyder's computer brain does not like aftermarket electronics plugged into the electrical system. Sometimes there have been reports that they have computer failure, which results in switching into the limp home mode, which requires a trip to your service center. So I personally have avoided using any aftermarket electronics as much as possible. But it's a personal thing. What would I change in the Spyder after 4 years of ownership? Well, I think I would have an auxiliary audio input and output. So I could Bluetooth my music straight to my helmet and integrate my Sirius XM satellite radio into the helmet also. I currently just use the earbuds under my helmet plugged into my phone so I can listen to music, streaming it onto the my cell phone. During our decision-making process to get a motorcycle, we had narrowed it down between several specific models to include the Can Am Spyder. But I thought, I'm not getting any younger, and it's only a matter of time before I dropped it with Miriam on the back. I didn't want to do that. So we decided to go with 3 wheels. And if you're going to go with 3 wheels, the only option, in my opinion, is the Can Am Spyder. We chose the RT model because we want to do some serious traveling. In the past few years since we've owned it, we've put about 20,000 miles on it so far. And we hope to put a lot more on it in the future. If you're thinking about buying a brand new Can Am Spyder, I have got a video just for you for that subject, which I'll put the link right up here. If you're thinking about buying a used Spyder, I've got a video for that, which is going to be right up here also. So we hope this Can Am Spyder buyer guide is useful for you so you can make a more informed decision as you move through the process to consider purchasing your own Can Am Spyder. Again, thanks for watching, and you all take care. Bye-bye.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up.
If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Feel free to leave a comment below.